member representing the good people of Kura, Madobi, and Garimala constituency. I'm from Kano State, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Co-chair, distinguished senators, honorable colleagues, I remain Honorable Dr. Abdulmaruf Adewale Adebayo. I speak for the good people of Erekodun Rolu Oloruda, Oshogbo Federal Constituency. I'm from the state of the dancing governor, the most performing governor in Nigeria, and we are moving ahead accordingly. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Good Chairman, I want to stand on the protocol that has been established to save time. Mohammed Omar Bio is my name. I speak for the people that are recently murdered, Barutin and Kayama, Federal Constituency. I'm from Kwara State.
Co-chairman, distinguished senators, honorable colleagues, honorable minister and his team, I remain Fatou Baolushola. I represent the entire people of Ado Ekiti, Irepodu Ifelodu Federal Constituency. I'm from Ekiti State. Thank you.
Chairman, distinguished senator, honorable members, my name is Prince Hakeem Adeyemi, Oyo Federal Constituency, Oyo State.
Mr. Chair, Co-Chair, the deputies, and the distinguished senators, my respected colleagues, honorable ministers, Engineer Shehud Alhatu Tapoki is my name. I represent Paskarik and Karasabua. I'm from Katsina State.
The Honorable Minister, I'm Honorable Chief Emma Ogoro. I represent the good people of Abakaliki and the Z Federal Constituency. I'm from
Chairman, Co-Chair, distinguished senators, my honorable colleagues, our invited guests, my name is Engineer Sagir Ibrahim Kogi, representing Kano Municipal. I'm from Kano.
My name is Honorable Uchenna Harris Okonkwo. I speak for the people of the Demili North and South Federal Constituency. I am from Anambra State. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, Co-Chairman, distinguished senators, respected colleagues, Minister of Works and Steam, my name is Ifeoluwa Babajide Ngero, member representing Akoko North East, Akoko North West, Federal Constituency of Ondo State.
Honorable Chairman, Co-Chair, Senate, honorable members and distinguished senators, our guests, my name is Honorable Architect Usman Murtala Banye, member representing people of Batagarawa, Cherenchiri Federal Constituency from Katsina State, and by the grace of God, I am the deputy chairman of this committee.
Then we'll go to the Senate, please, starting from my leader there, Peter.
Mr. Chairman, distinguished colleagues, honorable minister, my name is Senator Barrister Peter Onyekachi Nwebonyi, Deputy Whip of the Senate and a member of this committee. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, co-chairman, dear colleagues, honorable members, the Minister of Works and his team. My name is Senator Professor Anthony Ane. I represent Ebonyi South. The minister is my constituent. Thank you.
Okay, can I have an next question?
My chairman, my colleagues and allies, partners, I salute you. I respect our honorable ministers here. This is my big brother. My name is Honorable High Chief Kenny Small Chukwu Gozie Nwachukwu. I am from Imo State, Nigeria, and I represent the great and awesome people of Olu, Osun, and the Oru East Federal Constituency. That is where you have the Governor General of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the most distinguished Senator Hope Uzodinma Onwa. Thank you.
Go ahead, please.
The co-chairman, my distinguished colleagues, honorable members, the performing Minister of Works and Housing, and all their entourage.
House is not there.
House is not there. Okay. Don't disturb me. Warn him. My name is Senator Adenigba Fadansi, representing the good people of Osun State.
Co-chairman, distinguished colleagues, honorable members, honorable Minister of Works, and your team. My name is distinguished Senator Ikpeya. I represent the very good people of Edo Central District and from Edo State.
I am Osita Izulaso, Senator representing Imo West.
My name is Senator Ezenwa Onyewuchi, and I represent Imo East Senatorial District of Imo State, member of the committee.
My name is Senator Emmanuel Nwachukwu. I represent the Anambra South Senatorial District. Honorable Minister, you're welcome.
Switch off now. Ade Tokunbo Abiru. I represent Lagos East Senatorial District. Thank you.
Ojo Ozokalo. I represent Abia North, Abia State.
Comrade Senator Adams Aliyu Oshomole, I represent the people of Edo North in Edo State. Comrade Chairman, thank you for your joint leadership.
Senator Dicket Plank, Plateau Central. Thank you.
I am Mohammed Njimo Goje, Gombe Central, Gombe State.
Mohammed Alindume, representing Borno South.
Chairman,
Just your name, ma'am.
Invited guests, my name is Blessing Onyechonu, representing Otukpo Ohimini Federal Constituency, Benue State.
And I'm Honorable Akin Alabi. I'm from Oyo State, representing Egbeda Federal Constituency, the chairman of the House Committee of Works.
I am Senator Rufai Anga, representing Kano Central. I'm the vice chairman of the Committee of Works, acting for the chairman, by the grace of God, who is unavoidably absent. I'm also the deputy minority whip of the Senate from Konkosia side. Thank you very much.
My name is Senator Peter Gia. I represent Niger South Senatorial District from Niger State.
Okay. Any other one? Please. Yeah. Please. Senator Patrick.
Just talk.
Sadiq Sulaiman Umar, Kwara Nat.
Have you done it, please? All right. This is my remarks, yeah? The chairman House Committee on Works, my distinguished colleagues, my senators, and my colleagues from the House, the Honorable Minister, heads of agencies, esteemed stakeholders, ladies and gentlemen, I warmly welcome you. I warmly welcome all to this 2026 Budget Defense session of the Joint Committee on Works. Let me appreciate the Honorable Minister and the Surveyors Council and the Estate, the Council of Estate agents, and all participating institutions for your presence and continued commitment to national development. This engagement forms part of the committee's constitutional responsibility to ensure that proposed expenditures are realistic, transparent, and aligned with the national priorities. Our focus today is clear: to review your budget proposals, assess performance, and ensure that allocated resources translate into measurable improvements in Nigeria's infrastructure development. The expectation of the Nigerians remains high, particularly in areas of road infrastructure, professional standards, and technical coordination. We therefore expect concise, data-driven presentations that clearly outline priorities, implementation strategies, and value for money. The committee remains committed to constructive collaboration with both chambers of the National Assembly and all stakeholders as we collectively work towards delivering durable, safe, and sustainable infrastructure across the country. On this note, I formally declare this 2026 budget defense session open. Thank you. My leader, no clapping. My leader, no clapping. My leader,
Thank you.
no clapping.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Honorable Minister and your team, welcome. I have a speech prepared, but I don't see any need to read any long speech now, especially when you consider that my Senate counterpart has already read a speech. So we all know why we're here. And I would like us to keep the focus of why we're here. The performance of 2025 budget and to present the ministry's estimates for 2026. I'm sure because this is Ministry of Works and it concerns everybody in every corner of the country, I'm sure there are 1,001 questions that we all have pertaining to our constituencies and other, even constituencies that are not ours. But because of time, we'll spend the whole day if we want to ask about every single road. So let it concentrate on 2025 performance and 2026 estimates. So we are going to open the floor for the ministry led by the Honorable Minister of Works, Senator David Umahi, to give us his 2025 report. 2025 report and performance. Then we can decide to take questions before he gives us 2026, or we can decide to run down his 2025 analysis and projection for 2026 and then ask all the questions together. We can decide as we go along. So, Honorable Minister, the floor is yours.
Dear distinguished Works Chairman of the Senate and House of Representatives, dear distinguished senators who are members of Works Committee, dear right honorable members of the House of Representatives who are members of Works of the National Assembly, my brother, the Honorable Minister of Works States, our PAM Secretary, Senior Directors, SSA to Mr. President on community engagements that are with us, and all invited guests. Good afternoon to you. I have a prepared speech. I may speak also outside this prepared speech as we go ahead. So I wish to express the appreciation of the Federal Ministry of Works to the joint Senate and House Committees on Works for this opportunity to present and defend the Ministry 2025 budget performance and 2026 budget proposal. The Ministry received the letter as referenced here, dated 9th of February 2026 from the Committees on Works, requesting for details and submission on issues pertaining to the performance of 2025 appropriation and 2026 budget proposal. We also like to explain and highlight some aspects of the submissions in the course of this budget defense. Overview of 2025 Appropriation Act for Federal Ministry of Works. A total of 2.2145 trillion was proposed for the Federal Ministry of Works and its parastatal, FEMA, for capital, personnel, and overhead estimates in 2025 appropriation bill. The breakdown of the proposal is as follows. The Ministry of Works, 2.037 trillions, and the FEMA, 130.676 billion naira. You have African Regional Institute for Geospatial Information Science and Technology, 510 million naira. So total for capital budget proposal for 2025 is 2.168639 trillion naira. Overhead budget is 1.857 billion for Ministry of Works, and for FEMA is 33.468 billion. And you see the total is 35.325 billion naira. Personnel cost is 5.635 billion naira for works, and for FEMA is 4.923981 billion naira. So total personnel cost is 10.559 billion naira. 2025 budget performance. The releases of capital expenditure for Federal Ministry of Works as at today is in the sum of 210.318 billion, as against 30%. If you're looking at 30% of 2025, that should be 784 billion. That's what 30% of the capital expenditure should stand at. But when you look at 210 billion, of course, majorly your constituency projects in the Ministry of Works, this 210 that was released, you find out that our capital expenditure based on 2025 appropriation stands at 9.7%. The details of budget performance for capital expenditure releases are shown below. If you go to page 3 down, we had to report that the total amount owed contractors for works done and generated certificates between 2024 and 2025 is about 2.2 trillion naira. And I'm happy that Mr. President had directed a committee chaired by the Vice President to review all these debts of all the MDAs. And then let me announce that that committee is working, and a report will be presented to Mr. President, for action. I express my gratitude to Mr. President, who wasn't aware during one of our fake meetings that contractors are being owed this much. You can see in page 4 the details of our overhead, and the summary of it in the table as released, and the dates amounts. In page 5, you will also see the personnel cost of 5.635 billion, which is being paid directly from the budget office. Let me say here that I'm not presenting the budget of FEMA. There is a National Assembly Committee on FEMA, and the Honorable Minister of Work State, who is in charge of FEMA, will do that with the FEMA committee. I'm going to read page 5, which is 2026 budget appraisals. In 2023, 29th of May, Mr. President inherited a total of 2,064 ongoing projects. And the cost of those ongoing projects was about 13 trillion naira. And that was before the floating of the naira and the removal of fuel subsidy. And so if you appraise the cost of building materials now compared to where we were before the fuel subsidy was removed, then you can imagine what the cost of such projects would be. But I thank the president, and I don't think any other president ever did that. When we came on board, he had to continue all the entire 2,064 projects That's the first thing Mr. President did, and I give him a deep appreciation for that. Any other president would have been more interested in, say, his own projects, but he didn't. He said we should continue that. So with the removal of fuel subsidy and floating of the naira, the cost of executing these projects increased tremendously. To respond to this situation, Federal Executive Council, in one of their meetings, directed prioritization, phasing and rescoping of the projects, especially within the nation's major economic corridor throughout the 6 geopolitical zones. Our dear respected lawmakers of our nation, the 2026 capital budget proposal is 3.24456 trillion naira, and the details are contained here project by project, and I will explain. Of course, FEMA, just for noting, is 191 billion. You will see the proposal for 2026 overhead budget proposal, that's in page 6, and personnel cost also in page 6. By reading clause 6.0, we need to say that the Federal Ministry of Works total cost of ongoing projects as at December 2025 is about 16.9 trillion. You will see this at the end of this budget proposal, where we have the total cost of projects, but not cast on stone, because some of the projects have not been reviewed, to meet up with the realities of the present time. So, but 16.9 trillion. See details of the budget. And this excludes, Mr. President, legacy projects and the private tax credits of, private sector. Going forward in 2026 budget proposal for the Federal Ministry of Works, we have chosen a number of projects and allocated funds to ensure early completion of certain, phases. We need to say that it is impossible to do budget, proposal to cover, entire projects of costing 16.9 trillion. That will be very unrealistic. So we decided to go zone by zone, and we have chosen a number of projects, for completion based on phases, prioritization, and also rescoping. In page 7, clause 8, the President gave us graciously additional funds to the ongoing projects in 2026 proposal, and that stands at 797 billion, including contingency funds and counterpart funding, and is distributed as follows. Some people have been asking these questions, and this is the answer. You see the regional distribution, Southwest 160 billion, because there are critical projects in Lagos State, like the Top Mainland Bridge and the Kata Bridge, and that's why you see the distribution a little bit more by 30-40 billion. South 120 billion, Southeast 105 billion.2, Northwest 120. I hope the Southeast people will not query me, because have we even been getting any before? So we should be very happy that we are getting now under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Yeah, I want to ambush you before you complain. Yes. So Northwest is 120 billion. Northwest, we say they gave the highest votes. So we respect that. Thank you. And North Central 105.2 billion, and Northeast 105.2 billion. If you add 30 billion contingency fund, and you add 23.6 of the project between Makurdi and 9 Mile, China Harbour, then you will get 797 billion. The 70% of 2025 budget carried over to 2026 budget stands at 1.687 trillion. The details are here. In this budget, you will see 100% 2025 appropriation. You see 30% by the reason of your supplementary budget, appropriation 2025 you can see the total amount, and then you see the 70% that was directed to be carried over to 2026 budget. And then the new project for 2026 budget stands at 760 billion. But let me explain. These new projects are not necessarily new projects. Over 90% of them are not new projects, as listed here. But another phase of the ongoing project, since the initial phase, in line with FEC directive, have reached advanced stages of completion. These projects were distributed as follows. What we're saying is that when we inherited 2,068 projects in 2023, costing 13 trillion then, which if you multiply by about 4, you can now know what it will cost. So we did prioritization, we did phasing, we did rescoping. And so based on that, we had to phase the projects. For example, the Abuja Lokoja, has about 7 contractors on the project. But because if we give a contractor, let's say you have a section of 100 kilometers, then you now do the cost. If the cost is, for example, 200 billion, you are entitled to pay him 30%, 60 billion. We don't have such money. So we now decided to do a forecasting of availability of funds, and then put down, level of probability, and then did phasing, so that the phases of the project will be completed and also be, commissioned. And so what you see here is a product of, rescoping, rephasing, and the prioritization for ongoing projects of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And you see here, Southwest is 135 billion, again because of Lagos bridges. South-South is 125 billion, Southeast 125 billion, Northwest 125 billion, North Central 125 billion, Northeast 125 billion. Total 760 billion. Special projects, the legacy projects of the New Tobe administration. We have 4 legacy projects of Mr. President. You have the 750 kilometer of Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway. As at today, Section 1 will be completed and commissioned. 47.47 kilometer will be completed and commissioned by May 29, 2026. The Section 2 is 55 kilometer, is going from Lekki Deep Sea Port and stopping at the border between Lagos and Ogun, 55 kilometer. We promise that 50% of that project will be completed by May 29th, and that the entire project will be completed by the end of this year. Meaning that by the end of this year, if we engage at Victoria Land, you'll be able to do 105 kilometer non-stop, by passing the Lekki Deep Sea Port, and in parallel to Dangote tax credit project of the Lekki Deep Sea Port, routes, sections 1 and 3. And we also have section 3 and 3B, 65 kilometers, going on in Cross River State and going on in Akwa Ibom State. And so those projects, are ongoing uninterrupted, and the concrete pavement is also ongoing. And we are procuring the remaining section of 80 kilometers in Akwa Ibom. And so the remaining sections of the coastal highway will be, river states, which we have designed, passing through Ogoniland. And then we also have the Bayelsa section. River section is about 50 kilometers. Bayelsa section is about 30 kilometers. And Delta section is about 80 kilometers. Edo section is about 100 kilometers. And that is joining the Ogun-Ondo section. And so that design of the entire section is ongoing. We have the second legacy project of Mr. President, the Sokoto-Badagry, 1,068 kilometers. We've already procured the 120 kilometer at the Sokoto axis from Ilela. Ilela? Yes. Yes. And the president is very particular about Ilela. Said they gave him the highest votes. And I said there was insecurity. They said, Dave, go there and, flag off this project. And we had to obey the president. Of course, he provided all the security, and he has been providing security through the NSA and service chiefs. And so that project is ongoing, and over 50% of that project will be ready within the next 6 months. and we are hoping to complete that project by the end of the year. And we have the KB section, which is 258 kilometers, and of course by 6 lanes. And that project is ongoing, and we hope by the end of the year to have 50% of that project, completed. And these projects are with solar light, and they will put in also CCTV cameras. And then you have the third legacy project, which is starting from Cross River going to Ebonyi, and from Ebonyi it's going to Benue, from Benue to Kogi, Kogi to Nasarawa, and it's a total of 465 kilometers. The first 123 kilometers starting from Ebonyi is ongoing, and that's 456 billion. And that project is 3 lanes, unlike the other 2 legacy projects. But it is important that we start with that. And of course, the 4th legacy project, and I thank Senator Ningi and Senator Goje for mentioning it in the Senate, which is the 4th legacy project of Mr. President, which is starting from Akwanga to Jos to Bauchi and to Gombe. Good to announce, as you rightly reported, that this project has been procured and awarded. And instead of doing it with what it was initially designed for, flexible pavement, the President says it should reflect other legacy projects of his administration, and that is on concrete. And so when I leave here, I'm going to meet with Mr. President, who had sent for me, and I'm looking for the mobilization of 30% so that the contractors can increase the pace of work. And so let me report that these legacy projects are not mere road projects and bridges. They are investment projects. For example, this section 1, we have about 4 South African companies that have been bidding for us to give them the roads, and then they will give federal government the entire project cost. And let me also report that federal government is paying only 30% counterpart funding in Naira. The other 70% is a loan syndicate that is funded from outside and has very low, interest rate. There is none of the loan that is more than 6% interest, And so that has helped to stabilize our Naira. This legacy project being done on reinforced concrete, has also enhanced a lot of job creation. It has also increased local content and has reduced importation of bitumen. And that's why these are all our contribution, Federal Ministry of Works, assisting Mr. President to stabilize the Naira. And we are very happy with that. Not only that, these projects, we are linking all the existing projects to these legacy projects. And this is very important. Let me also report that I saw in social media, when you say that, dog bite man, nobody cares. But when you say man bite dog, people care so much. And so we have a downpour in Lagos, climate change, and there was flooding. And let me explain that the result is because of the blockage of the channel. We have underground drainage channel, and people went to now dump refuse over there. We have discovered that, and we have removed those. But what I'm going to do when I inspect it on Saturday is to provide also drainage, surface drainage channels. But that will not solve the problem until we give out that project, on operate and maintain, so that the person will own it and then be able to put security on the road to monitor and to watch. And so when people criticize the legacy project of Mr. President, I'm here to let them know that these are investment projects and it's paying off. Everyone in Lagos within VI and Ikoyi are enjoying the coastal road because we have temporarily opened it. And you can see that it's a microcosm of the macrocosm in terms of the catalyst, it will give to our economy. So let's have faith in what these legacy projects will bring to us. And if a man like Ningi is so excited, and a man like His Excellency, Governor Goje, we're very excited, it means there is something in it. And transmission is also very excited about it. My good friend.
Mr. Chairman, point of order.
So thank you very much. An MPC funded tax.
Mr. Chairman, point of order.
Okay. What order, please? Can you?
Order 15.
Order 15. Okay.
Go ahead. It's getting to Medugri. Yes. It's getting to Medugri. We are talking to high tech.
We have a document circulated and it did not go around. We need to get this document so that we can be able to follow you.
Which one? This document?
Yes. Go and produce.
Okay. No, we are not going to produce. We have it.
You know, you can't tell us what to do.
I'm also a senator.
No, before.
You were.
I told you to stay. I told you to stay so that I will not come and question you.
As senator professor.
Can we have more copies to go around, please?
Yes, please take them all.
Take them.
Exactly what I requested. It was what I requested from the IG last year. We have the same thing you requested now.
Take us now.
I requested from IG, he didn't give me. Something like this. And our members who are supporting him. Just give them. Give them back.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, can I conclude? Can I conclude? I just have 2 pages to conclude. Okay. Yes. My people say now somebody will know somebody they kill him. It's Ndume, my good friend, that we raise point of order. Yes. Now we are on page 8. Yes.
You have the floor, Honorable Minister.
NMPC funded tax credits. Page 8. Clause 4B. NMPC, on the approval of Mr. President, has pulled out of the funding of this project a total of 7 trillion naira will be needed to complete this project. Mr. President approved that Federal Ministry of Works do take over the execution of the project. It is important to note that continuation of this project is critical as they are essentially within the economic corridor of the nation. Example, all the projects on East-West Road, the project of Suleja Mina, and most projects in Taraba, Adamawa, and Niger State, they are all part of NMPC projects. Just to mention a few, they are all in an NMPC funded project. In page 9, I say it would be good for our lawmakers to encourage Mr. President to raise bonds and complete this project, which by the previous administration, Executive Order 7, which is still subsisting, is funded from Federation account. Whether it was right or wrong, our people need these roads. This is very important. Private sector tax credit. A number of companies are involved in this program from the previous administration. Companies like Dangote PLC, Bua PLC, MTN are all involved. By Mr. President directed, this program has stopped, but ongoing projects under this program shall be completed, but no new ones shall be initiated. Challenges. That's page 9, clause 12. The cash plan for capital projects. The method adopted by Federal Minister of Finance in funding capital projects of Federal Minister of Works is anti-progressive for the success of the ministry. In Federal Minister of Works, projects of over 95% are all ongoing projects. You can't ask a contractor who previously was paid advance payment and he has funds with him and the general conditions of contract, which is part of the agreement signed, has specified how this fund will be deducted from the contractor. You start deducting this fund when the contractor, has achieved, is it 30%? 30% on the progress. And you complete the deduction when he has achieved 80%. Now, if the contractor has the advance payment in his hand, and you ask him to stop working because of, funding, the tendency is that here we have our money and the agreement signed, which is in line with the general condition of contract that regulates engineering, practice in Nigeria. It means that here we be holding our money and work will not be going. So that is not very good for the ministry. So you can't ask contractors that have APG fund of the ministry not to work. As they work, they generate certificates for work done, and you have to pay them. But Federal Ministry of Finance can direct Federal Ministry of Works on the expected expenditure upon which each contractor shall not exceed. Mr. President was not aware that Federal Ministry of Works capital expenditure performance for 2015 as at today is 9.7%. No nation can grow without addressing our critical infrastructure, especially roads and bridges. Let me emphasize that it is the GDP of this sector, roads and bridges, that grows the GDP of other sectors. There is no, argument about that. If you can't travel from Abuja to Lokoja, you can't do business. You cannot do education. You can't do medical. When a road is spoiled or bridges are broken, it tantamount to imprisonment, because when you can't move, you are in prison, and it means that your freedom is being tampered with, and this is very important. Mr. President has shown so much commitment and support in addressing the national critical infrastructure, and I thank the National Assembly for their support to Mr. President. We have challenges, and the challenges we have is it will be good for the National Assembly to address, the long procurement process for Ministry of Works. There is a need to address long process of infrastructure procurement to shorten time while addressing value for money. Roads and bridges need dry season for effective activities. I have argued that the activities in Ministry of Works is like, activities, in any medical institution, hospital. When a road is broken or a bridge is broken, it's like somebody has, had an accident, God forbid, and is brought to, to a theater. It's an emergency. And so the process, cannot be the same. If you do not act quickly, then it is difficult for people to move. And when people will not move, then life may be lost. Then protection of nation infrastructure. Our concrete works are destroyed by those who are harvesting roads. Refuse are dumped in our drainage channel, like what happened on our coastal road 2 days ago because of blockage of drainage channels, removal of electrical facilities on our road, harvesting of expansion joints on our bridges, and parking on our roads and bridges. The roads and bridges are not designed for static, loads. They are designed for dynamic, loads. And it's so sad to see, where big trucks, trailers are, parking on our bridges and our roads. Any legislation on these issues will be desirable. Appreciation. Let me thank God Almighty for His mercies. I thank my boss, Mr. President, for his support and trust, which has helped our ministry in moving our roads and bridges infrastructure forward. Let me, vow and say that, I can put, 90% of my time and efforts because of who Mr. President is, because the kind of support, because of the kind of commitment in the, roads and the bridges infrastructure. I appreciate so deeply working with him, and it makes life very easy. He has never sent a contractor to us. He has never asked us to give this contract at this price. Every pricing is a product of Ministry of Works and the, BPP. And so I commend him very highly and I appreciate him. And I want to say that we work with courage. We don't work with fear. And we report to God Almighty, to the people, and to Mr. President. And of course to you, our headmasters. I remain grateful to the Senate President, the Honorable Speaker of the House of Representatives, my two works chairmen of National Assembly, and these distinguished members of National Assembly Committees on Works. The entire Federal Ministry of Work team is grateful to you. Together we can. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for that comprehensive. All the mics are off. Is there any microphone that is on? Okay, I guess we have. I guess we have to resort to campaign voice. I hope it's going to be captured. It's off. It's
there a central switch where it's been tampered with or something?
Well, black.
Everyone, can you try your microphone, please? None. So that must be okay. One is on, just one.
Black has gone to you. Black has gone to check.
All right. All right.
Use your campaign voice, Mr. Chairman.
Your unit election.
Yes, sir. All right.
Real time.
Thank you very much.
No proviso.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for that very, very, very detailed presentation. I particularly noted the issue of challenges that the ministry and the staff will have to oversee and will have to be checking all the time. Because of what happened at the Coastal Road, you talked about it. I'm sure it's one of the questions my members will have loved to ask. So, blocking the drainage caused that. And like you rightly said, we must find a way for long-lasting maintenance. With the private sector, tolling, whatever, that will still won't put too much toll on Nigerians. But I think it's something that's it's not enough to build these roads. The most important thing is for us to be able to enjoy it for decades to come. So what we're going to do right now, honorable members and distinguished senators are going to ask you questions. I'm sure they've been itchy to ask questions. So we're going to take about 3 from the House, about 3 from the Senate. If we have more time after that, we'll take more. So from the House, Honorable Stanley Olajide will take, Honorable Dati will take, and Honorable Inua will take. So
and from the Senate, Senator Oshumole, Comrade Oshumole, Jarube, and Senator Gojo.
So, Honorable Stanley.
Thank you, Co-Chairman.
One day time.
Thank you, Co-Chairman, for yielding the floor to me. I am from Oyo State.
Ashobole, Goji, and Jaribe.
But let me first of all draw your attention to the fact that we have a population of 242 million approximately in Nigeria. And if you compare that to South Africa, where we have only 65 million people, South Africa has 750,000 kilometers of roads. Nigeria today, we have 195,000 kilometers. Which means we are way behind on where we ought to be. When people hear 3-point-something trillion, it sounds like a lot of money. We're only talking about $2.3 trillion approximately. Which for me, it is peanuts when you're talking about expanding our economy. I want to say to the co-chairman, we need to try everything humanly possible. This kind of budget is not going to move. In the late 70s, when the Lagos-Ibadan Express Road was commissioned, our founding fathers, they created that they had a weight bridge at the midpoint at the beginning of the express road. And one of the reasons for those weight bridges is to control heavy traffic, heavy loads going on our highway. We're doing a good job on Lagos-Ibadan Express Road. If we continue the way we are without this weight bridge, that road will not last 5 years. I want you to please look at how we are going to resuscitate these weight bridges so that way we can control heavy traffic.
Thank you, Honorable Stanley, for that contribution. very, very eloquent. That's how we are in Oyo State. We are very, very eloquent. Honorable Dati. All right.
Oh, Lagos.
All right. All right.
Mention it first.
Okay. Kano.
Let him. But he said it. Lagos.
Yeah.
London Bridge and so on.
Thank you, Honorable Dati. We move to the former Speaker of the Gombe State House of Assembly, Honorable Noah.
Thank you very much. The co-chairman, honorable colleagues, also Minister and my former colleague, the State Minister, staff of the ministry. I am right honorable member representing the federal constituency of Kosa. Distinguished honorable chairman, let me start by appreciating the effort of this government. Like some of our leaders think in appreciation of the government through Senator Ahmed Bola Tinubu, the president and commander-in-chief of this country. This is not before we were primary, but we have been seriously neglected. Will be extended to Plateau, Bauchi, up to Gombe. And by progress, I saw my senior brother, the Table Center, speaking because it's my neighbor, where I think would be seriously important is to quickly extend this to the neighboring border states. Very unfortunate, even the government don't understand the socio-economic development dynamism of this country. Not in geopolitical zone. It's supposed to be the second most advantage geopolitical zone in terms of economic development. Because we are working with 3 consumer countries. Cameroon, Niger, Chad, their domestic consumption, 63% to Nigeria. So we need infrastructure to enjoy that advantage. So, Honorable Minister, distinguished colleagues, I want to make a plea on behalf of that legacy project. Instead of continuously going from Makodi going down, I want to appreciate that issue. Some of the contractors, because we say it's not one company, should start from the other end so that we will save congestion and traffic. And it will serve as a competition Seeing what is doing, what the other
Honorable. Thank you very much, Honorable Noah. We've taken the 3 questions from the House. If we still have time, we'll come back to the House. So I'm going to hand over to my right hand side, my leaders in the Senate. Okay, you want to answer these ones first, then we'll move to the Senate from there.
Go ahead. Yeah, what happened now? I want you to talk for confidence. Why are they?
When overloaded, a truck, brought the bridge down. So we are doing, all that. So totally we address all these issues, How do we determine, I don't know, Honorable, you see, whether you are querying us, if we say, okay, say we gave Southwest 160 billion, and then we gave you 120 billion. Why should we give Northwest 120 billion and we give Northeast 105 billion? You should also add that. And so we go back to drawing board to understand what happened. But we also join the fact that the Abuja, Kaduna, Zaria, Kano, has 2 projects awarded by Mr. President. And that project is the most important project for Mr. President. He's not asking me on, Coastal Road or Sokoto Badagry, but he keeps sending people to me to find out about the progress of that project. Honorable Yusuf, the first project is 118 kilometers. It is 252 billion. President has paid 50% of that project. The second project is 502 billion. It is 164 kilometers, all on concrete. President changed the narrative from asphalt. And when you go there, you find out what the previous administration did on asphalt. They are failing. I'm the one maintaining them. They are not up to 8 years. And so the choice of using concrete as directed by the president is paying off. So you need to commend us, not to tell us that the accident, those who have passed that road of late, are commending us. 502 billion, president has paid 50% of that project. Now I'm taking a certificate of Section 1, 74 billion to Mr. President this afternoon, and I'm taking 48 billion for Section 2 to Mr. President. No any other project in this country is funded like that project. So don't query me on why I should give. We have a, Tom Mainland Bridge, and the moment in this country we stop,
being, journalistic, what is 30 billion, compared to what is given to Northwest? So we shouldn't be talking like that, because the man that is heading the government, Mr. President, is not thinking like that. He's thinking about the nation. And as lawmakers and as ministers, we should think about our nation, because if we want to analyze the project, you find out that Northwest has the largest share of the project. So please, yes, we should receive commendation, not, because if we speak more, then the house will be divided. The next question, to extend the project, yes, this Akwanga just, down to Gombe. And of course, my good brother, Biu in Medugri, for Ndume alone, and Honorable Inua. I intend to discuss it with Mr. President, today, because the people that have the first section of the route, the 123 kilometer, is the Chinese people. The Chinese people, they want this project before on flexible pavement. And the president said, no, I want concrete pavement. But, graciously, that was one of the two projects the Mr. President submitted to the Chinese companies, the Chinese government to fund in our 2024, road and belt initiatives in China. So this project is of very high priority for Mr. President. And so the Chinese people are doing it. So we don't know when that fund is going to come, but that project must take off. So the high-tech has very limitless, sources of, external funding. So we want to appeal to the president, if I can bring high-tech to, start from, Jos, and then get to Bauchi, and get to Gombe, and get to Medugri. That is what I want to present to Mr. President. Medugri was not left out. The fourth legacy project is to end in Medugri. The Tom legacy project is not done by high-tech, it's done by InfoQuest. So that is what that stands for. So be assured it will be done.
Okay, thank you, Minister. Minister, before I go to my colleagues, I would like to make a little comment on what you honorable used to ask. Sir, Honorable Minister, last year you promised to finish Abuja, Kaduna, Kano.
Sorry, Chairman, by April, first section of that route, 118 kilometer, 252 billion, will be totally completed for commissioning. By November, sir. By November, the second contract will be fully and totally completed, all in concrete.
That is what you promised last year. That's why December will finish. Follow the road. And the road is still terrible. Because, like you said in your answer to him, you said whether he has followed the road. I followed the road. You were not saying. I always try. I go through the road. It's a terrible. I doubt if you can finish this road. It will not end this year.
We'll finish because they are working in 6 sections.
Okay, excuse sir, let me respond to you, sir. Sir, we have not been 14 months on the projects. First project, 118 kilometers. Tell me, in the history of this country, apart from high-tech, any contractor that completed 118 kilometers in 12 months. But we are going to do it. I'm coming, sir. Hold on, sir. I have no regrets for terminating that job. I'm telling you, sir, that road that was done by the previous contractor is failing, and that we are maintaining it. And we should be happy and grateful to Mr. President for using concrete, which will last for, 50 to 100 years. That's number one. Number two, 168 kilometers. If you add 118 plus 100, it's getting to 280 kilometers of road doing on concrete. And so you want us to finish it in 6 months, sir? Let us check history and find out whether any road project has been this fast in the history of Nigeria. We should be appreciative of Mr. President and Minister of Works. We go there all the time. No any other project in Nigeria, including the legacy project, that is this fast. Kwakwansia, maybe when you cross over, sir, you see very, very well, sir.
You cannot see very clearly now. You cannot see clearly now. And, sir, this is your Okata and Mr. President. And we will likely help him this time around too. So, if we should be grateful to Mr. President, he should also be grateful to us.
No, he is.
Thank you. Okay.
He is, very, very.
Okay, we have my colleagues. Do I vote this way?
Yes.
Come on. Okay. Come on. So I have already mentioned 3. When we have time, I'll come back to you.
My own is just a comment.
You are his successor, and you may be succeeding as maybe a governor, something next time. Yes, please.
My own is just a comment.
Honorable Minister, like I said yesterday,
yes, sir.
I commended Mr. President for awarding the road from Abuja to Gombe. But in my speech, I also pleaded with the President, which we have now almost agreed, that the road should be extended from Gombe to Bio to Maiduguri, and also from Gombe to Yola. Even if you add all those roads, they are no more than 800 kilometers. The Budgetary Sokoto road is over 100 kilometers. And the terrain in this part of the country is not as expensive as the terrain in the south, where you are constructing 720 kilometer coastal road. So there's nothing wrong if this road can be extended. We are grateful. We are not ungrateful. We are grateful to him, but we want it to be complete. If you reach Maiduguri, Rubio, and you reach Yola, we have followed through with the northeast. And so I'm pleading on behalf of the people of that zone. When I see Mr. President, please let me consider this to additional wings on the road.
Notice, sir.
Firstly. Secondly, since the Senate, when I was chairman of operation, we used to tell Ministry of Works, there's no need to embark on hundreds of roads, and then you allocate 50 million, 70 million, knowing full well that this is just a waste of money. It's not going anywhere. I have observed in your submission from page 17 up to 23, you've actually allocated 70 million, 70 million, 70 million, 70 million. 70 million will not go anywhere. And therefore, I still want to repeat my advice. It's better to pick some roads in each of the zones or in each of the states and complete them, rather than giving 200 million or 50 million, knowing that it is not going to serve any purpose. That's my advice again. I want you to consider this issue. I know there's a pressure from every politician, every member, every senator wants to see his road in the budget. But it doesn't make any sense that the road appears in the budget, but there is no up there. It doesn't make sense at all. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Chairman, Comrade Co-Chair. Thank you, Comrade Ministers and your team. My name is Adam Sushumo. First, I want to advise Honorable Minister, all of us here, particularly in the National Assembly, there is no better representation of the vision of Mr. President than the National Assembly. That explains why we never decline any appropriation from the executive that has to do with reasonable capital project. That's a matter of fact that no minister can disagree on. But whether you use the money or not is why we have to have the oversight function. Now, because we are, as you said, we shouldn't look at our areas alone, we should look at the country. I share the concern of the chairman about Abuja Kaduna Road. You have no regret in revoking it from Julius Berger. Fine. I am not a director of Julius Berger. I probably will also do the same while in your truth. But what I fail to understand is why you award the contract to a new company that is owned by Mecano. Mecano has been known for generator distribution.
Mecano,
yes. They own the company. Mecano. Yeah, whatever you call it, you have to use accent. They have no history of road construction.
No.
So why would you take a job from a reputable company and give it to an unknown company that has no record of having worked anyway? If it did, those working on the road now, we would like to know the name and then the project they have done before over the past 10 years or 20 years in Nigeria. Because it's all about reputation. When I travel through that road, because I'm also a Canadian man, I could see, you see the tractors. Whether they are working or not is arguable. It's like what I saw when I was a governor. Say, ongoing, I go there, I see a tractor that is not moving. And you see it, you know, and all over the place. This Kaduna road is not a miracle, it's not rocket science. Whether it's by concrete or it's by asphalt, as an engineer, sir, you know that the real issue is not the choice between concrete and asphalt. Because if the concrete is also poorly done, specification poorly with, supervision almost zero, contractor incompetent, the part of the roof, concrete, is not a magic word that delivers quality. I think we should settle on that. And even the failure of our asphalt is not resulted by this asphalt. It is poor specification, sometimes compounded by poor supervision. Because, I mean, we travel around the world, asphalt is not synonymous with fair roads. No. There are issues that are more complex than that. Now, let me come to, I have spoken as a Nigerian, but let me speak as someone representing the great people of Edo State, Edo North in particular. I saw on page 4 of this document that has no title. And I want to read out what I saw here, and I need to be educated. Dualization of local job Bini or Budgetary junction.
Which one? Which document? Section. Hold on, sir.
The budget.
Is it this one you're reading from?
No, the budget.
No, the budget.
Oh,
this one is your statement. I've looked at the budget.
Budget.
Page 4.
I think we should give you this one, sir, because this one has title.
Oh, no. I read the one that I had. You distributed.
You don't have this?
Allow me to finish. You make your notes, sir. But I didn't bring this here.
Page what?
Distributed, and I found it, and I'm working on it. So, yeah. I saw here this section. Is
which one?
14 million naira.
Dualization of local job.
14.
This one.
I'm like, is it a footpath? Now I go to this is EROS GP 1215400.
I'm not a
Then
shepherd.
I go to
Sir,
Mr. You can't interrupt.
if you want me to answer the question, you have to take it easy. Okay?
Wait,
So if I don't follow you, I will not answer. You have to take it easy. I take it one by one. I didn't have this. I'm just getting it. So we finish this. We go. Look, we are not in classrooms. We are not in classrooms, sir.
That's the budget.
You know.
That's your budget. I'm not going to deal with your story. I'm dealing with the budget. Allow me to finish.
No, listen, sir. If you want me to answer you, you have to carry me along. Because if you finish and I say I didn't understand, you will not arrest me.
Mr. Chairman, can I be protected as a senator?
You are protected.
Sir, make your note. Even when you were speaking, we document.
I make notes. I make notes if I understand you. Take it easy.
Okay, let me take it
easy. Yes.
It's okay. Sir, on page 4.
The Senate.
The Senate will like that, yes.
It's okay, I am capable of defending myself if I come on that.
I'm handling the rep. He's handling the rep.
Mr. Chairman, sir. Mr. Chairman, do I have the
floor?
It's a point of order. No, it's okay.
Point of order.
No, excuse me. It's protecting you. And there's
Yes, you can't be talking to him like that.
That is point of order. Okay.
I need to talk. Yes.
Okay.
I need to talk.
Allow him to talk. That is point of order. Allow him to say.
Mr. Minister, sir, you cannot address the parliament like this.
My friend, if I don't understand, listen to me.
You have
I don't understand the question. I have the right
institution.
to let you know that I
cannot,
didn't
no,
understand it.
No, sir. Mr. Chairman, co-chairman, this is unacceptable. The Honorable Senator
senator cannot be talking, and the minister is telling us, if I like, I answer. If I don't, I don't answer. Would you like us to address you like that? Do we deserve this?
Nobody said that.
It's unacceptable, sir. It's very, very unacceptable. What's the meaning of this?
Chairman, I never said if I like, I answer. I said if I don't understand him, I will not be able to answer. That's what I said, and I'm still repeating it.
Excuse me, Mr.
But I should take it easy for me to follow him.
Honorable Minister, please take it easy.
As far as I know, you are my friend, and we remain friends. Because we are friends, we understand each other. I'm not going to follow minister's strategy, nor can I lend you my strategy. We have to try and listen to each other.
Right,
so I will talk very slowly,
yes,
in line with the slow pace of the work that I'm referring to. Yes, on page 4, sir, of this document, which is the budget, I have made reference to the, whether it's whatever you call it, EROC-GP 1215400.
084. You want?
Okay, 007. Okay. I see here ongoing. The amount provided 14 million, and that is on dualization of local Benin Obajana junction, Benin section, Obajana Okene Kogi State, 14 million. Then EROGP 12154063.
Which page?
Dualization, the same page 4. This dualization of Lokoja Benin Road again, Obajana Junction, Benin section, phase 1, Okene Auchi, Kogi, Edo State, 14 million naira. So I'm asking whether this is for road or for footpath. Third, sir, EROGP 12154-087. And I read this title: Dualization of Lokoja Benin Road, Obajana Junction, Benin section, Benin section 3, phase 1, Auchi Eho, Edo State, 14 million naira. So I ask, is it for Chiki Road? Another one, EROGP, I'm still on that page 4, 12154098. Dualization of Lokoja Benin Road, Obajana Junction, Benin section 4, phase 1, Eho, Benin City, Edo State, ongoing. Amount provided 14 million naira. So why I'm making reference that this is not made by the Senate or the National Assembly. This is coming from the executive as represented by the Honorable Minister of Works. So I will need specific questions, sir, to this written presentation, sir. That said, so when the distribution of Goje was making reference to 70 million tokenism spread everywhere, it added up to a huge sum, but actually it meant that this sum will not be used. If it will be used, it will have no consequences. And we are saying this cannot be Mr. President's wish, because you mention President every other minute. I know the President, and I know this is not his wish. We, the National Assembly, carries on board in total the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President. This token is not a renewed token of Mr. President. It's a complete betrayal of Mr. President's laudable objective, which the National Assembly has completely keyed into across party lines. That's it.
So are you judging or you are asking me questions?
You are not entitled to interrupt me.
No, you can't use foul language on me.
No.
I'm a distinguished Nigerian. You can't use foul language on me, please.
Honorable Minister.
No,
please,
sir.
No, excuse me, mind your language, please.
No, but you can't use foul
were
language
in
on
this
me.
Senate, excuse me, sir.
For how long? 2 months.
You were in this Senate, you mind your language. You are addressing a senator.
2 months senator.
Mind your language.
So, that said, Chairman, I enjoyed the disruption and I thank you for your patience and your leadership, please.
Go ahead.
The termination of NNPC funding and private sector funding. I salute Mr. President for this decision. Because this so-called tax credit is very difficult to maintain, to monitor the transparency. So for me, I celebrate it. You spoke to the issue of the Federal Minister of Finance, who Mr. President has also assigned as the coordinating minister of the economy. And you said he is not releasing money, and that is affecting your project. But you also assure us that Mr. President is not aware of this. This is your written address. And I'm like, since Honorable Minister is a member of the Federal Executive Council, and another minister who is also a member of the Federal Executive Council is doing things in a manner that affects your work, why are you not able to draw Mr. President's attention? Because you claim in a written statement that he is not aware. And there has to be some coherence between what one minister is doing and what the other one is doing, particularly when you are referring to a coordinating minister. I mean, I just listen to you. Yes. It will appear that there is no communication between honorable ministers who also buy into and are representing Mr. President laudable renewable agenda, of which we are all 100% in it. I'm not just a senator, I'm 100% APC. Okay. Lastly, sir. Yes. The issue of private sector intervention. Sir, I'm honored that I was invited to witness one of the flag off from Benin to, is it Asaba, who was supposed to be funded by private sector. Although I have still found out that the money they are using is workers' pension money that is being recycled by so-called private sector, not their money. It's the workers' social capital. And that's what they are channeling through various vehicles, and they pose as though they are private sector investors. They are just middlemen. But that is not at the heart of my problem. My problem is between that time we went to commission, and the last time I visited, build, operate, build and tow. I'm like, until it's built, they will not tow. So the people going from Benin to Asaba, they have huge challenges with regards to the quality of work and even the pace of work. That's why I say I have to learn to speak slowly in line with the pace of work by these contractors who are working for private sector funded scheme. I will conclude by appealing to you, sir, that flowing from what distinguished senator Gaduje said, the former government is
Gaduje.
So
No.
sorry.
Gaduje,
Pardon me.
you are a successor in your friend.
Pardon me. Sorry. Forgive me. You know we're former champion.
You mocking me.
I think that rather than have another allocation of is this 700 billion for zonal whatever, I'm like, in line with what you said, sir, is it really helpful to appropriate another 700 billion for new zonal project? People have not yet, I'm yet to see the details as to which road is attracting what in this zonal project, including those in the south-south, where in the south-south, which of these is agreed to Edo State. I'm like, if we concentrate on the existing Benin, Auchi, Lokoja, Okene Road, and is completed, it will have profound economic benefit to the people that any new Toki job in Edo, say with Edo to Asaba, or Edo Benin to Warri. So these are roads that have become completely impassable. I think it makes sense to patch, now I want to talk like a tailor, to patch an old fabric so that you can wear it than appropriating Tutu 1 meter, half a meter to buy you Baba Niga, which you will not be able to bear. I want to thank you, sir, for your patience. And I'm very grateful. Comrade Co-Chair, God bless you. And Minister, I hope you don't pick offense with my...
That is if I'm not able to answer your questions.
Sir, the last person, sir.
Excuse sir, Mr. Chairman, sir. Please, my brain is not as sharp as your own. Allow me only 2 minutes to answer these questions before you to escape. Please.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Let me thank my very good friend and brother. You didn't mention the woman, the beautiful work that is going on there. But that is for another day. Governor Goje, you talked about allocating small money, in our projects. This small money you see, most of them are retention funds. Even if you have finished your project in 2023, and because 5% is retained of the total work done, it has to be in the budget for you to get your money. It's contractual, and that's what you see. You also see your constituency projects. Most of the small allocation you see are also constituency projects. And it will be important that constituency projects should continue. That if you give us constituency projects and we appropriate it, for example, if you put 100 million, and it's impossible to do a project of 100 million, and for the sake of your constituents, we, procure, say, 1 kilometer. It will be good to continue the funding in the next year appropriation. Because appropriation is not supposed to run just for 1 year, in most cases. This is very important to know. And let me also say that all the NPC projects have notional appropriation. They have notional appropriation. I understand the law. If you don't put the legacy project in the budget, you cannot do the project. And also, the tax credit of the private sector, they also have notional appropriation. And this is in agreement with the budget office. Then let me come to the issue of Mikano. I'm just hearing Mikano for the first time. But honestly, whether they are selling goods or vehicles or generators, it's not my business. My business is to look at the soup and make sure that the meat in the soup is looked after. So the job that the InfoQuest and not Mecano that is doing, they are doing so in my own state, in constituency of so if it is not a good thing, I don't think as Minister of Works I should have allowed them to work in my own state. I'm very 100% satisfied with the quality and the speed of work of Abuja, Kaduna, Zaria, Kano project. And my answer to the single senator is, I challenge you for project inspection and bring the best of your consultants. Bring, a static concrete tester, and then let us go and see, there are requirements in engineering. What is the strength of concrete in 7 days? What is the strength of concrete in 28 days? If you do it and it fails, I will throw in the towel. So I ask you for a joint inspection in terms of the speed, in terms of the quality, and in terms of, let me tell you, sir, that the former contractors were getting equipment of this contractor. And they will be before you here, and we got all the agreements, and we showed it to this, National Assembly Works Committee. So I have no doubt about the integrity of the contractor, about the quality of the work, about the speed of the work. Now, the 1440 million, very simple.
There is no fraud there, sir. There is no fraud there. The 14 million. And that's why I wasn't too happy when you used the word fraud and betrayal.
I didn't use the word fraud.
No.
I said 14 million. Is it for a street walk or for people who work out 14 million? I didn't use the word fraud.
Okay. Can I answer?
Yes.
When we came on board, we inherited an NPC project running from Lokoja, Abuja to Lokoja, running from Lokoja to Benin, from Benin to Warri. We also have the one that runs from Sapele, down to, Bayelsa, Rivers. And we also have the section that is running from, One Junction, 30 kilometers, 156 billion, that was designed for flexible pavement. And let me also teach and correct. There is wide difference between asphalt work and concrete work. I am,
Mr. Chairman.
Can I continue, sir?
What order?
He has a point of order.
What order, please?
You can't say.
Okay, I withdraw, sir. I want to inform, sir. I want to inform there is a wide difference between asphalt and concrete as far as our profession is concerned. And so that is the information. Then number two, when we came on board, we looked at this project. Most of these projects of an NPC were awarded in April 2023, just a month to the end of that administration. So they were not funded. Some of them were given, advance payments. So when we came on board, we looked at the cost of this project, and the Federal Executive Council directed to phase this project. And that's why you see phase 1, section 1. You see phase 2, section 1. You see phase 3, section 1. So those appropriations are the phasing. Those EROGP are the phases of the project. The 14 million you are seeing, they are notional appropriation. It is to bring the project to law so that whatever funding that is coming for it will meet the terms of the law. There is no problems about that. They are product of phasing, the scoping, and a very ingenious way of completing this project. Thank you.
It's time for me. Thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
I've already mentioned him, so after him, please.
Please, Chairman, Honorable Minister, I just want to draw your attention to the rehabilitation of Odupani to Ikodekone Road.
What page?
Page 5. ERGP 12154356. What we see here looks like more of a dissimulation rather than an intention to actually work on that road.
Can you allow me to locate it, sir?
Where is the graph?
Page 5.
1, 2, what, sir?
ERGP 12154356. Rehabilitation of Odupani Kodepene.
56, yes. 14 million.
What I see here is more like a dissimulation because 14 million is
an NPC project, notional appropriation.
Okay, so this is just an optical illusion.
Yes.
We'll leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you. Nobody, please. Peter. Take that one.
Okay, sorry, sir. Comrades, the time that we discovered that we're not being funded by the Ministry of Finance,
we took the matter to Federal Executive Council, and my colleague is here, and the president was very displeased. And I tell you his comment. He said, how could contractors go to the bank and borrow money at 7% and they are not paid? So it was the time that we took the matter to the Federal Executive Council that Mr. President now set up a committee to address it. It is being addressed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, my distinguished colleagues, honorable members, the performing honorable minister of Federal Republic of Nigeria, Minister of Works, Senator David Umahi. Well, let me commend my colleague, Senator Adams Oshomole, for doing the job of a parliamentarian. I plead that the honorable minister don't misunderstand Oshomole, because as a man carrying the post, he's saying what we're supposed to say. And but one thing we can't take away from the present Minister of Works, which all Nigerians have seen and have agreed, is that this is the first time we are having a minister who is an expert in that field of civil engineering. It is now that we are having a minister who is innovative. We can now see a minister who insists on value for money. We can also see a minister who insists that jobs should be done according to specification. You can't take that away from the honorable minister. And your position, if you had joined us to oversight the honorable minister, probably your position would have been different. Now, the honorable minister, while we commend you for what you are doing, which I said earlier that Nigerians are very happy with, because it's a fact that is speaking for itself. The Lagos-Calabar road, Coastal Road, many Nigerians never believed that is a reality. But today, from the explanations, over 200 kilometers out of the 700 kilometers have been completed.
No, it's ongoing.
It's ongoing. The same thing is happening in Badagry, Sokoto Coastal Road. The same thing is happening from Cross River, Ebony, Benue to Abuja. Now, the Honorable Minister,
1 minute, please.
the problem we are having here now is the funding of all these jobs. And I want you to use the good office
1 more minute, sir,
to ensure that all these jobs are properly funded. Because it will become a beautiful nonsense when budget is made and is not funded. And in most cases, contractors will do their job, generate certificate, and they are not paid. It is even working against the government of the day and our party in particular. So I urge you, Honorable Minister, to look in that direction and make sure that contractors are paid. Thank you, and may God bless.
Thank you,
Federal Republic of
Yes,
Nigeria.
already said it.
Well, somebody spoke for 15 minutes, Mr. Chairman. I'm a press officer. Please, somebody spoke for 15 minutes, and I was talking for 5 minutes.
You can't shout at me.
I will shout at you. I can preside over this over you.
You can't.
I spoke for 5 minutes.
You cannot.
But somebody spoke for 15 minutes.
I'm also a prisoner
Don't
officer.
talk with that, please. I can preside over this meeting.
You can't.
That is the protocol.
No, you can't.
Thank you.
I'm also a principal officer.
You can't say so. You honor me.
You're bootlicking your
Somebody
boss.
spoke for 15 minutes, and I was talking for 5 minutes.
You're bootlicking.
Don't tell me that, please.
You're bootlicking.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Party on what? You see, they ask questions. See, they all ask questions. You're just praising the minister. You should allow us to thank him. Excuse me. Distinguished. Ruling party. Excuse me. I was elected with 10 times the votes. I came through election. So what when you're ruling party? Ruling party what?
Please let's calm off friends, please. Senator Maboye, I agree with you. You have the floor and you can use your time. But it's okay. But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Senator Maboye. Senator Maboye. Senator Maboye.
You are just a hitman. No, you can't be dead.
Well,
you shouldn't respect my job. You shouldn't respect this man.
Mr. Chairman, the co-chairs and distinguished colleagues. Yeah, Mr. Chairman, the co-chair, if you can excuse me, I want to speak while standing. So that, yes, sir, right. That's why I'm for information. Can I stand up and speak? Okay, thank you very much. Distinguished colleagues, let's remember that we are not in a closed session. We are before the cameras and everybody. Please, sir, don't under. Please, don't under. Don't under. Honorable colleagues, whatever we do, we should not forget that we are colleagues. Whatever we do, we should not forget that we are colleagues. And whatever you say, you must remember that you only say those things that if somebody says it to you, you will be okay. I understand your position, but equally, I must tell you here that it was wrong for you to refer to an elderly person and to a leader too that is from the minority. Yes, I was telling you the truth. I was telling you the truth. I don't think I don't think
you should be just for all.
Okay, calm down.
You were elected, I was elected too.
Osomolo that spoke for 15 minutes is from APC. So calm down, please.
You can't tell me what to say.
No, you cannot tell me what to say. I'm a sitting senator.
Honorable Senator Jume. Senator Jume, please sit down. Please sit down, Senator Jume. Senator Waboye. Distinguished. You are distinguished gentlemen. And please, you don't pass judgment on him, Senator Jume. He's your colleague, like you said. Please. Honorable Senator Waboye. Please, let's put an end to this matter. Distinguished. I thought you wanted to ask the question. That's why. Before you now dive into judging him.
Let me ask my question.
Your question now.
No question. No question. No, I want to ask my question.
Question.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable Minister. No. Honorable Minister, the reason I stood up is to make my comment on the budget. First, the budget which we presented or was given to us is fixed, which also, as your speech, this budget was submitted to us by the Committee on Appropriation, and that was what we thought we would work with you on. Now, you have this budget, the capital expenditure budget proposal details from Federal Ministry of War, which is different in so many places, and that's why you have some issues on this 14 million and all that. I want to suggest that you,
it's the same thing in the men.
wait, you and the leadership of the committee should synchronize these two so that we know the documents we are going to work with. That is number one. Number two, I wrote you a note on our observation that the legacy project. Yeah, but just want to refer to it. The legacy project, Sir Chairman, can I have a copy? No, of his speech, the minister's speech. On the presentation you made, Honorable Minister, page on the legacy project, I want to go to that page. I wrote a note for you. The legacy project, and that is on page 8. The 5 legacy projects are ongoing. It starts 4. It started from Akonga, Jos, Bauchi, Gombe, and stopped there.
But we've agreed that it's...
No, that is in addition. In addition, I just want to take you to take note. I gave you that note so that it will be on record. Yes, sir. And let it be on record also that out of all these places that you mentioned, where the legacy project of the New Hub is going, it is only Borno State that has been excluded that our president won the 2023 election. Just, we didn't win Adama.
So we have settled this matter now.
Thank you. No, just for emphasis and for record purpose.
Oh, we have settled the matter.
Yeah, so we don't turn this hearing into a circus. I think it's better to just call it a day. We have access to the minister at any time. We can call him at any time. And we can okay, I'm coming to you. We have we can speak and speak and speak. What matters is what's really on ground. And 2026 we're going to be on the road checking all these projects. It's not enough for the minister to tell us 160 kilometers is about to be completed. We would like to go there and see things ourselves. And I like that you challenged our leader, Senator Adams Oshomole, on the Abuja Cardinal Road. We all know the importance of that road. We will be having a joint committee inspection to go and see that road step by step. We'll get to the start from the beginning and get to the end of the road to see the true position of this. Thank you. Yes. Finally, with respect, Senator Alero. Yes. It's an extra, but we just defer to you because the other statesman. Oh, okay. So we'll take that question from you, and we are going to close.
Let me start by saying that it's very unfortunate we had this discussion. It is very unfortunate that we have this road issue. The conduct is not really senatorial from both sides. There are exchanges of hot words between senators and also the minister. Normally, budget defense is supposed to be done in a very calm atmosphere.
But I will see you, we'll talk about it.
Having said that, we should all put this behind us. We should not take offense in what happened. We should see ourselves as senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, regardless of the platform we can be. And once we sit here, we are all equal. Having said that, Honorable Minister, you said the energy tax credit has been started. And I know there are quite a number of roads that are very, very important, that are very, very vital to the transportation sector of this country. If you cancel
the NNPC project. What attempt are you making to ensure that these roads are completed? They have already been awarded. Contractors have been mobilized. Some of them have even received up to about 30% down payment. So I know there is a road from Funtua to Gusau, from Gusau to Sokoto, and it's divided into 4 sections.
Correct.
3 sections. I thought it's 4 sections.
No, you are right. 4 sections.
Divided into 4 sections. And if you drive away all the contractors and take over, do you have the financial muscle of funding these 4 sections at the same time? Because road construction is capital intensive. There is no way you can rely on budgeting provision to complete all the ongoing projects you have in the country. That's why this issue of NNPC tax credit, SCOOP, which is an alternative funding arrangement, and also the multilateral funding, but that comes from either China, Exim Bank, or any other source, is always welcome into the road construction in this country. And we have made tremendous progress on this alternative funding arrangements. If you rely on funding, I repeat again, there is no way we will be able to make any progress, because you need close to about 10 trillion naira annually to complete all the road projects that are currently ongoing. We have 1 over 2 service, and you cannot rely on funding. The idea of NNPC tax credit, private sector taking over some of this road, doing the construction, and then later on they will recover whatever they spend by introducing tolls, is always welcomed by the Ministry of Works. And then this HDMI, Highway Development Initiative, and it appears it has been ignored. To us, particularly in the 9th Senate, we thought this particular initiative, this particular initiative is one way of funding road infrastructure in this country. So I want to know your response. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Distinguished.
Okay.
Do we need your response?
Mr. Chairman.
Sir, with full respect.
Do I respond?
Thank you, sir.
Go ahead, Honorable Minister.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I hope I will be able to make a very short closing remarks after answering this question, if you permit. The HDMI is Highway Development and Management Initiative, and there are 2 types. We have the PPP, which is, you take a project, we work with you for the